Hello, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Casting Conflict here, where we are progressing ever so closer to finding out who our champion will be for our Casting Conflict Season 2. Tweaking returns to the booth for another exciting episode here as our second semifinal matchup of DeathsAdvocate versus Allensis is going to get underway here in a moment. The winner, of course, going on to face oooje in the finals to crown our champion. Tweaking, an exciting matchup. How you feeling about it today?
Yeah, this is going to be hopefully a great match. Both players are really good in their respective colors. We know Allen likes to run, at least in the last season, main Mystic Rats and the blue-green combination factors. But we saw that he switched it up this season and going for the Crusader Druid combination, and he's been finding a lot of success into that. And DA, right below oooje this entire season has just been rolling through the competition.
Absolutely rolling, yeah.
So this is, as much as both of these players are really good, I feel like this is DA's game to lose. I mean, I can't remember if they've met. I'm sure they met previously in the season.
I think they have, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think DA beat Allen, I think.
Right. It's a bit of a grudge match for Allen then.
Yeah, so I feel like DA is going to be confident coming into this match, and it's just one more match, and then he can get his rematch against oooje, and we could potentially see rank number 1 versus rank number 2.
Something we haven't seen, mind you, I think, throughout the entirety of the regular season. I have to go back and double check this, but I don't think those two have faced off in a regular season matchup here. So if that matchup is on the horizon, it would be quite the spectacle. But, I mean, Allen stands in the way of that at the moment here. Allen is the more immediate threat. And, little to say that I think he's going to be out for revenge against DA for the last time they met.
Right. It's going to be interesting. We know Allen in his current deck has a lot of globals and, not a lot of units. As I say that, he has 35 units, but what I mean by that is, a bulk of his units are, sitting in the back and using their ability to bolster up other units. I mean, you got 3 copies of Blacksmith, 3 copies of Bard, 3 copies of Mana Core, and I can only assume that those units are going to be kind of sitting in the back, and I would be shocked if he, plays aggressive with those type of units. So, I run this deck a lot, just a lot of globals. And an issue that I come across is I draw too many globals and not enough, aggression type units. And I have to, sometimes make the decision whether to, sacrifice one of my globals or to just, hold out and pray that, I can, whatever unit I draw, I'm able to kind of stop the initial push and regain board control. But it's going to be a little bit harder to do with DA, dealing with, direct damage and all that. But he does have some outs here. He has 3 copies of Hands of Saints, which I love instead of playing Arbiters, having that cheap heal that does the same amount of damage or does the same amount of healing as Arbiters, but costs 5 less. And, you're not only that, but you also get to play some other units on top of playing Hands of Saint. I love that addition. I love the Call for Aid addition, getting those cheap Ranger units out to help you if you start to brick here. And then also just your big boy, your big Craxus. And, if Craxus comes out and you have your Armories, your Bards, and your Blacksmith, or your Mana Core, that can be very dangerous to come up against. So hopefully oooje might have an answer for that. Hopefully he has an answer for that.
oooje? Where's oooje?
I mean oooje. I mean DA. Sorry, got a little ahead of myself here.
Of course, we're not there yet, but certainly some challenges for both ends to overcome here. Only one way to find out who will overcome the challenges, though, is we go to game number 1, folks, coming at you right now. All right, tweaking a little bit of an unorthodox style here as we got the gameplay ahead of time. Me and you are coming into this pretty fresh, though, so we don't know what to expect off these games here. As we open it up here, not a bad hand to start out with Allen. You've got the Priest, you've got Uh, those other 2 units are cards which are going to be cycled away for. Ooh, oh, look at this.
Uh, yeah, this is a great starting hand for Allen, and I would have done the same. Take out the armory, take out the centaur. You have enough globals that you'll eventually draw into a global, and you want these early units out, especially when DA responds with
The
a
turn
rat
one
hobble.
hovel. Jeez. I mean, the priest can work to our advantage here. We can, if we wanted to play priest, buff the lumberjack to avoid that, rat for lumber trade. And we can still, get another body out on the board here. That sounds like the safe option, although we'll see if that happens here. Yep, there. Okay, so priest does go down, hits the board here, allowing the lumberjack to go in for some additional damage here. And I mean, right now, all the early stuff is going to happen here. Not sure we're going to see anything too exciting out of these guys this early on. Although Allen hovering Fat Bard, he wants to play that. I mean, do you feel like this deck, since you do have the experience from it, that getting these globals out as fast as possible is the objective?
Uh, Actually, when you're coming up against a warlock's faction, that's not always the case because if you get it out too early and you can't, handle a dragon's fire, then you lose all your momentum. So actually, I would have held on to the priest, so that when I do play a fat bard or a blacksmith or an armory, I can play the priest on top of it, protecting it from a blue firebolt or for a dragon's fire. Because now he's going to play a fat bard here, and that's going to be susceptible to any sort of direct damage. Um, but I understand, Allen wants to be aggressive. He's a very aggressive player, and he wants to, get the globals down and and use it while he can. Uh, Especially now that he has a couple of turns before a Dragon's Fire comes in, he might see a Blue Fire Bolt here. Uh, that would actually be pretty good. DA, I would take the Blue Fire Bolt option here and trade out with the Priest with the rats. But we're gonna see what he does here. He already moved one of the rats.
He's somewhat
Maybe,
committed to it, it seems like.
yeah, maybe he's got a blacksmith maybe or something. An acolyte here, okay. And he's just gonna try to protect it as much as he can here.
Which, I mean, Spiny would have been the draw to get rid of all
Hmm.
this, but we do not have that in hand, unfortunately. We do pop the Hovel, which is good news for Alan, not having to rely on a companion to do the job. I can even bring up this Flying Books now for turn here to start just getting additional draw and get those additional resources to the board here. It
Right.
seems like this match is just going all in Alan's favor here. Not really much that DA has to respond to all this. Lumberjack coming down. They're all tinier bodies here, doing 1 point of chip where Allen's got 4 to spare, additional ones from Fat Bart here. It just seems to be going all DA this matchup,
Right.
or not DA, excuse me, going all Allen, not in the favor of DA.
And Allen's got to be a little bit careful there because DA does have a coin, so he can coin into Dragon's Fire next turn, which will destroy everything on the board if Allen decides to play Flying Book. So maybe if I would play maybe a cleric next turn, see if I can't just have at least one unit on the board. Um, Depending on what we draw here next, if we get an armory, that's great. I'd play the armory. Then I won't have to worry about, losing a lot of my units to a Dragon's Fire. So we're gonna see what he draws here. We draw a Spiny, then
And
a
the
Centaur.
Centaur.
We actually might play one of these to take out that Acolyte. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna do that as well and keep the pressure on.
The
I would
Centaur
just
was the one
keep
that he needed to
chipping.
go for. The Spiny would have been too small for the Acolyte.
Yep. Yep. I would just keep chipping away here. DA has no ability to heal, and we already got him down to 9 health. We have a lot of units facing his castle. His only option here is probably coining into a Dragon's Fire, and it'll take out everything here, and you'll have a rat to stay alive.
He
But it
doesn't
doesn't
have
seem
it
like he
though.
has that. He's gonna play a vampire here. Um, yeah, it's
I think, is that lethal? I think the Spiny at the bottom here, right? Spiny is 3, 4, 7. Yeah, that's the
7.
exact
Yep.
lethal.
Yep.
Oh wow! And just like that, game over. We move into match number 2. Allen taking the first game win. Quite the impressive showing from this deck for game number 1 tweaking. Just a lot of, I mean, he hit hard, he hit fast, and we keep mentioning I think this in a lot of our pre matchups in the regular season. If you can put the pressure on DA's deck, man, it begins to just fall apart because it needs that time to set up the bodies. It needs those time to set up
Right.
the spawners and the buffs. If you don't allow that, I mean, his deck just crumbles, just like we saw here.
Right. And if I'm DA, I'm just gonna chalk that loss up to, not drawing a Dragon's Fire. I think if he could have drawn a Dragon's Fire there, I think he could have turned the tide a little bit. He would have taken out all of Allen's units. Allen would have had to start back from square one, and it would have allowed DA to get a little bit more breathing room. I just think that, he just wasn't able to stop that initial push and then add on the fact that Allen got an early global down and was just and also the double companions in his hand. It was just too much, and Da just wasn't blessed with the right cards at the right time here. So I'm not too worried for Da. I think he's gonna turn us around in game two.
Certainly, we'll see if he brings any sort of countermeasures or counter options here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the post match here, break down what happened for you in match number 1. All right, so we're going to come in after game number 1 here. Quite a good showing for Allen to start off his set here. Just running with the game in quite a dominant fashion. Not much that DA could do in this game.
Yeah, we saw how effective, globals can be, and he got the right cards at the right time. Having those early companions, taking out the Acolyte, and just, not allowing DA to set up any of his globals or spawns, and having to play defensively, and not even, and he couldn't even attack Allen's units. He had to use them as essentially body blocks to protect his Acolyte, and it just gave Allen the time that he needed to keep the push going, keep the pressure on, and ultimately win the match. Now, I feel like that game could have been a little different if Da could have found a Dragon's Fire somewhere in the mix. It would have taken out a lot of Allen's initial push, and Allen was, not doing the best on draws if that would have happened, but it didn't happen. So I mean, great game for Allen. I'm feeling really good if I'm him, and if I'm Da, I'm just chalking that up to having no early game momentum and no Dragon's Fire.
Right, Dragon's Fire could have been a huge option here, especially with Allen risking it, not really playing the priest at certain times here. I know that was a big sort of red flag for you, and hopefully, and thankfully, it did pay off. We didn't see the Dragon's Fire, but still, could have gone a lot different, I think, if we had saw that. But overall, a great start from Allen here to open up our set, Tweakin', and we got a game 2 to get to. So let's go ahead, folks. Game number 2 coming up right now. All right, Tweakin', in game number 2 now underway. Seems like DA going to the red-yellow. It seems quite unusual for him, but okay, we'll see if this works out for him. As Allen going to try and swipe away. Okay, yep, Bestial Rage and Fat Bard going away, pulling a second Cleric along with the Lumberjack.
Okay, not the best, not the worst hand. Hopefully Da. Hopefully it's either no interactions or last will. I really hope it's not Knights. I'm just not a fan of Knights, and I don't think Knights will do well
Not after
against
the Vesa fiasco.
No, 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 no. Even before the base of Banasco, I hate Knights. I hate Knights.
All right, well, we'll see what.
Oh, oh, what is this?
Hello,
What is this?
Primordial. All right, well,
Uh,
not something we see often now, is that Primordial Flame hitting the board here. Responding with the Wizard is Allen here. We'll see if that's going to stick around on the board here. It is turn 3. Blue Fire is certainly an option as we move into the next turn here. But Primordial Flame, huh? That is not something we expect to see in this. Oh, God.
Yeah, you don't see that card, especially in higher level matches and higher level opponents. But this could work really well here. But we're gonna see probably a Cleric and plus a Blessing here, and
I
just
don't.
try to start chipping away, or maybe a Flying Books.
The problem is, right, like we can't afford to take the damage yet. I think we have to play something, but then hold it back and hope that we're not going to see a lot of buffs on this Primordial Flame here. And yeah, that's what Allen's doing. He's setting up the books here to try and interact with this flame, but ultimately not committing to anything right now. Just because I think he needs a bit more power.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's a mistake because you're giving DA chances to boost this thing up, and the longer you wait to hit it, the harder it's gonna get. I think the right play would have been to hit it with a cleric, because now next turn we probably could have played a blacksmith, or we kind of
Actually,
probably could have played a book and blessing.
does that math work? Actually, we play the blacksmith, we blessing, and I think that gives us just enough to kill the flame. I think, right?
Yeah, you have options to kill this. You have the blessing and then the blacksmith kill, or you could have gone the Rat King route, and but you're gonna give DA a lot of cards from this. Uh,
I think just a 2 card here, right? Yeah, because we have to connect to
mhm.
it at least twice.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then you play the lumberjack to block if you want to. I mean, it's your one
Interesting though.
damage.
Primordial Flame putting in a good amount of work for DA here in the opening turns here. I mean, taking a chip for 3, generating him 2 cards. Not a bad day at the office for the Primordial Flame.
Not only that, and also having to make Allen waste one of those buffs in the Blessing of the Tree Ants defensively, and now he has to deal with that slow book that can only move 2 spots. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna play probably a cleric here, and just play a little bit more defensively, maybe even push the books 1 space forward, get that big truck moving, and uh, I think I would end my turn here.
Probably. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
yikes.
yeah, because your castle is already up to full health. Uh, I don't. I mean, that's
That's a
dangerous.
risk.
Because
That's
now
a risk.
that is because now we're running to a dragon's fire here. If that happens, could be very detrimental here. Luckily, we see an armory. Um, I would trade into the cleric.
Oh, not before
Af-
giving us another priest buff, though.
Not yeah, not before the priest.
Priest will ensure that this first one survives the cleric encounter, which is great here, forcing Alan to put it in something else. Which, I mean, thinking Rat King at this point might come out and make an appearance here, just so the smaller token creature can trade into the priest without losing too much, good stuff from the hand here. Priest being debated though
Yeah, priest is smart
before.
because that protects your fat fart and your blacksmith from a dragon's fire. So I would try to play the priest, and maybe even a rat, or can the spiny can't take out that armory. We're
Uh
gonna do that. We're gonna
oh,
roll
we're
the
gonna
dice again,
We're gonna commit to
and
the cleric spiny instead here. That will remove one of the armories, yes, but
mhm,
again, like you mentioned, opening us up to a big dragon's fire potential here. I mean, we lose the smith, we lose the armory, we lose the books, we lose the spiny off of it. A lot of momentum that could just come crashing down because we opt to play the priest later.
right.
And if he's got it, he's got it. Which okay, looks like he might not. Priest
Nope.
doubling back, removing the spiny here. Another vampire. Good to see you, my friend. You're gonna hit the board here. You're
Hmm.
gonna heal up the books. Unfortunately, books can't hit castle. Can't hit anything now. Fear
Nope.
pushing that back. and
I
ugh.
I desperately hope that Alan plays priest. Move it up, please. Please move your blacksmith up and fat bards and get that extra rat,
Nope.
or not. Please, for the love of God, play your priest. Play your priest. Play it, please.
It would be another huge risk to just avoid the
I
priest
know
here.
you'll lose. You basically lose the game if you don't play your priest here. Play it after you trade. There you go.
There it is, and just having just enough
Oh,
so that way the priest can make the
oh,
connection too.
thank
Oh,
God. Okay. I get it. I get it why you kind of wanted to hold it a little bit. That's his only unit, but man, if he would have lost to a Dragonspire here,
would have been
your only
heartbreaking.
unit is a Priest. Oh God, now we see a Craxus out.
Not as
It's fine. I mean,
impactful
we
as I
can
think it could have been.
we can deal with it. I don't know. People expect Craxus to, get a lot of cards, but I mean, if you can just get one hit out of it, I feel like it's worth it. Don't do that. You don't need that. You don't need that. Just
Just do
give
math.
him
Just do
just give him
math.
draw. You're already down with the cards. I mean, what's two more cards? What's two more cards? Just give it to him.
Yeah, at least trade the background
Yeah,
so you can get a hit in for
yeah,
3. That's at least put yourself at some advantage by being up in castle health.
yeah. There you go. and I would push the Rat King forward if he
Oh.
wants to waste
Oh, we're
these.
doing the dual blessing. We're
Oh my
committing to
God.
the Rat King.
Oh yeah. Okay, I mean at this point, might as well start pushing up your blacksmith and your fat bards too, just a little bit more aggressive, just in case you do have to come out, because we just
Jeez.
have a Hands of the Saint here. But it's a 7/8 rat. I mean, like, just because it's a rat king and the slow doesn't really matter because we can just move that thing right back unless DA has an answer to, pop something right there.
Dual fear, pushing the Rat King just out. I mean, he has the double slow, I think, so he's only moving one space a turn.
Oh yeah, no, he's on his knees right now. The
Oh my
rat king is on his
god.
knees. He is at
That
a
crown
slow
is
crawl.
too heavy.
He is crawling right now. It would be a shame if DA doesn't have an answer for a 7/8 rat king, and if he doesn't.
Oh. He's gonna end up probably blocking with this, yeah, because there's no
Mhm.
point in trading to give Allen that extra hit. Um, wow.
When's the last time you seen a 7/8 rat king?
Probably not since the times of when Rat King was combo, give you yourself two rats, so that way you just if you keep the Rat King alive, you get more rats. That was the name of the game back then, but no, not for a while have I seen a Rat King as big as this, man. Look at this thing go. Look at this tank.
This thing is massive.
Not trading though with the Craxus.
I think that's smart. I think that's smart. I think you'll get a little bit more value out of that rat king if you don't play with Craxus, because now DA will essentially have to trade in 2 units, and you
Okay.
also protect yourself from maybe a Dragon's Fire. Uh-oh. As I say that, here comes a Dragon's Fire. Wait,
Nope.
never mind. Drain
Dual
life, drain
drain
life.
life.
Oh God, it's the battle of the globals here. We got a 7/7 Rat King and a 10/12 Craxus. But don't worry, gents. Don't worry, everyone. We got Hands of the Saint. We got
That's
Hands
true.
of the Saint.
We're not gonna use the general. Well, I mean, Rat King gone. But yeah, we do have the Hands of the Saint for if things get really bad here. Judging by this hand, though, we can't actually remove this 10-8 cracks. A second
Oh
flame hitting
my.
the board, though.
Oh my God.
Second flame, by the way.
I'm sure Alan's pissed to see that. Now we do get a Bestial Rage here. Now, that could do something.
We can't
But
remove
unfortunately,
either of these
um,
units right now with
yeah,
that.
unfortunately not a lot. I mean, we are just praying we get to sudden death quick, and we have some units left on the board.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, put Bestial. I mean, do you put Bestial Rage on the wizard and hit the Craxus and then retreat south?
I mean, you say that and it comes to fruition here. There he go. Right? All the way down?
Yeah, either all the way down or right there. I mean, as long as it's away from Craxus.
Yeah. And yep, that is going to be what happens here. Uh, okay.
I mean, you hate to play it on a wizard that's susceptible to a blue firebolt, but I feel like we have to start chipping away at this Craxus because I mean, it's at 10 attack. We have to do something. We can't just sit back and wait.
Yeah, one swing pretty much negates the hands of the saint here. So we gotta start doing something. Unfortunately, Craxus has been putting in a lot of work for DA here, up a massive amount when it comes to the card advantage. And you gotta wonder what is lurking in that hand of his.
Oh,
Okay,
oh,
Arbiter.
oh, oh God.
Arbiter hitting the board here, healing for 7 and eliminating the wizard here. That was pretty much one of Allen's only remaining potential win cons. With that gone from the board now, it feels very, very unlikely that Allen's gonna be making it out of game 2 with a win tweaking.
Yeah, we need to see Rat King or Colvade here.
Centaur is
Centaur's not gonna do it.
not it, Chief. Actually,
That's not gonna do it.
it can remove the
We can
Craxus. Yeah,
we
we
can
can.
take out the Craxus. We can take out the Craxus, and we'll get the sudden death. Uh, we will have to somehow manage to deal with that, you know, flame prince up there,
The
and we're
primordial
just
flame, yeah.
or primordial flame, and we're just giving DA so much draw, so much draw.
throughout this game, it feels like we've just been awarding the draw. I mean, from the first flame with the Dragon Crest shield to the
Oh my,
Craxus,
oh my God.
and now a buffed Primordial Flame here. 3-9 from a Flame Shield, followed up with a Dark Bender in the rear.
What are we
Uh,
watching? What are we watching right now?
it feels like we're watching the old. I don't know if you remember the time here, but remember when like auras were a thing, right? We had like the
Oh
Shadow
yeah.
Aura, we had
Oh
the
my
Healing
God.
Aura on the Cleric. It feels like we're watching one of those matches, except now Cleric's been neutered and Primordial Flame is literally carrying the Aura essence on his back.
Oh man, good times, good times. Oh, the right knight with that shadow aura was just so annoying to go up against.
It was.
Uh, Now we're gonna be able to deal with this thing, and we're gonna get some draws, but hopefully, we can survive. I mean, okay, thank God we got, multiple heals here. Uh, Hopefully DA doesn't do a lot of damage where we have to play both of them, and that's probably gonna be our turn. He's gonna do at least 5, potentially 10 if he rushes in the Dark Bender.
We'll see if he decides to hold back the Dark Bender for potentially game closer rather than sort of risking it. Oh, okay. Nope. There it goes.
Uh-oh. I think he's doing that because Craxus can't hit the Dark Bender.
Probably.
Yeah. If Craxus was one space forward, I don't think he would have brushed the Dark Bender, but maybe he's smelling blood in the water. We're seeing Allen, he's at 7 health, and I'm just gonna rush down a lot of these units.
And I mean,
Uh,
White Knights at 3-7, no
mhm.
laughing matter either. Like these are some pretty scary units here. We do have, again, the dual hands of the Saint here, but those can only go so
Ah,
far. More globals coming into the hands now of
yeah.
Allen. It feels pretty hard pressed. I mean, I feel like the turn here, potentially throwing out the hands here to ensure that we don't die. You know,
Hit the
Bard
Claire.
Smith or Bard Spy, something to just, create bodies to make trades here because we are needing to remove these bodies so that way we can recover, even though it feels unlikely that that's going to be the case.
I feel like he needs to hit with Craxus first to see if we can't draw a Rat King or something. We're gonna take out the right knight, call for aid, Spiny. That's not gonna be enough. We're gonna have to play a hands and a Spiny on top of that, and maybe we'll take out the lumber. We'll take out the cleric, and we'll leave the Darkbender and the White Knight alive. But he's got to hurry up here.
Yeah, we gotta put
Oh, we're not.
Spiny down.
Yeah, we don't even have enough to take out the cleric. I forgot.
We can
Uh,
remove the lumber, which is good here. We're not facing down lethal unless DA's got, Lumi, more globals. I think that's the only thing that's really keeping Allen afloat here. Connecting for 3 on the white. Connecting
and
for
we'll
another
hit.
3 on the cleric. Yep, there it is. Healing back up the bender.
Arbiter ends it. Another Arbiter ends it.
The question is, does he have it?
Does he have it?
There it is.
The Arbiter.
Oh boy, man,
Eh,
what a throwback it feels like. I feel like we were back in like 2017, 2016 with the Aura matchup. Just by the way the
That was
Primordial Flame dominated that match.
that was crazy.
Oh my god. I mean, hell, I don't want to sit here talking about it in this screen. I gotta go look at that deck list here, Twig, and we gotta check out what Death gave us here, folks. Match number 2. Let's break that down for you right now. All right, folks, and coming out of game number 2, Tweakin, it feels like a bit of a throwback for me and you personally. We've been around for a while, and the way that DA really played this next matchup here, or this matchup, excuse me, was just kind of something about it took me back to the days of like 2016, 2017 with all the aura stuff, with how impactful the Primordial Flame felt in this particular match.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of primordials being used in higher, ranking matches because, it's only good in the early game, and usually you only run it when you're rushing your opponent, and more often than not, rush decks aren't the best. I mean, on occasions you'll come up against a player where they're just their decks aren't meant for early game rushes. Um, so it was surprising, to say the least, to see not only that, but to see it actually get any sort of value uh, out of it. I mean, we saw DA, he got 3 damage on Castle and also 2 draws from that. And even towards the late game, he even got some value out of having that, late Primordial
Mm-hmm.
out. And and we saw this was the what I was telling you about, the problem with running so many globals in your deck is, when it comes down to where you don't have the board presence and you're not the one dictating the momentum of the game, more often than not, when you need units to draw, you're drawing your globals instead. You're drawing your blacksmith, you're drawing your bards, you're drawing your armories, and we saw that towards the end of the game where, DA had just too much power threatening face, and Allen was drawing his blacksmiths, and Allen was drawing his bards. Now he did have a couple of heals. He had both heals, but it was just too much. I mean, he was lacking the units, and unfortunately, he just couldn't do anything. I would have loved to see a Rat King. I think that could have done something, especially with having multiple globals down. I think that could have been a real answer and a real momentum swing, but he just wasn't able to find it.
Right, and I think that's definitely again what led DA to grab that win here. Overall, though, great match from Death's Advocate. Loved that little throwback for us here in the booth. We appreciate that. But tweaking, got another matchup to get to here. Match number 3. The set is now tied at 1-1. Let's go ahead and see what match number 3 brings for us. Game number 3 coming at you right now. All right, tweaking, match number 3. Allen making quite the swap here for this game. We're going up against the same swarm, the red green here. But Allen bringing in purple green here, and by the looks of Koru, are we going to see Koru scope here in this game?
Good possibility, and uh, it's gonna be, oh man,
Uh,
it's hard. It's hard. I love Kuroscope, but it's such a tricky. I'm thinking, this might be an OTK deck with the Shadow Katana,
oh, it might be. Yeah,
with multi strike and dancing swords.
you could be right. This actually might not be a Koru deck here. Uh, gonna see the Rat Hall will probably come down, right? We don't want to interact with the Faithful Drake yet.
All right, just average stuff, just some building. Ooh, blue firebolt, but that's fine. That's fine.
The average
Well,
early game interactions is what we're calling this.
yeah. All right, we'll bring out the blacksmith. You just gotta ask yourself. I mean, you can only assume that a blue firebolt's gonna come. Would you rather lose a global or a rat hovel?
Mm-hmm.
And you just that's something Alan has to decide for himself. Um, we're gonna see a rat hovel of DA on D8's side here. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have anything to deal with that in these faction colors. Now we probably see a dancing sword lumberjack. Um, and hopefully we might be able to get off the shadow katana onto the dancing sword. I don't think DA is going to allow it. I think
No,
he'll
probably not.
probably, yeah,
Uh,
I think he,
Knowing DA
yeah,
and his slow, methodical coverage of a game, it seems unlikely that he'll allow swords that opportunity to swing over and connect for potentially lethal here. I mean, obviously,
right,
we don't want to assume that. We'd have to draw the multi strike first. We'd be off, I think, 1 gold anyway. But
right.
regardless, we'll see some cards make some appearances here. Vampire, three for three here. 3 for 3. Seen him in
I
three
wonder what
games.
I wonder what Alan has in this deck for draws. Draw is always important with any deck that you make. And purple green doesn't have the best bang for your buck when it comes to draws. I mean, a lot of the draws are, you got onslaught that costs 4, you got swiftness that costs 2, and you got evasive. Not a lot of people run evasive, but it does allow you to draw a card. So I wonder what Alan has. Might even opt to run multiple shamans too, mercenaries execution. This is kind of the problem when you run with some faction colors that are lacking draw capability is you get into these situations where you have just like 7/7 and a spell card, and you're kind of working on dead units essentially, and you're just hoping that you can draw something or make it to the late game. Because now, yeah,
Oh,
we see a
there's a
dwarven
scope.
scope
All
here.
right, all right. That seems potentially workable here. I figured probably just going to be another Smith, maybe pass. Unfortunately, it feels like we're going to be losing that Dancing Swords here in the next turn.
Yeah, I would pass here. I mean, what are you getting with the blacksmith? I mean,
More
swords
Dragon's
die.
Fire bait.
Right, and the sword has 2 health. It probably die from some weak unit that DA has, and that's your blacksmith is your only playing option for next turn, uh, for a while. I mean, for one turn, so might as well just save it. You're not getting a lot of value out of playing the next another blacksmith here. Yeah, we'll see a lumberjack go in here.
Hope you've got another Lumberjack for that, because, I mean, feel bad to trade the... Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Dagger Storm.
there's Dagger Storm.
Don't even have to trade the Vampire now. Set up an Acolyte behind the Vampire, get this Rat going here. Seems to be going in DA's direction, however, notably down on cards for the first time in quite a while in this set, it feels like.
Hmm.
Only rocking 2 rather than his usual 17.
And we get to see a Masuda out here.
Ah, it feels
I I
risky.
don't I don't like that position. I don't like that any global any buff, any any buff, any firebolt, any direct damage, it's gonna get killed off. And you just give free, zombie value if he does have another dagger storm and it lands once on the Masuda. I think he would have been better with playing it one step back. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know what Allen is trying to set up here. Maybe he's trying to block the vamp from flying over the Masuda and hitting castle.
Probably, but I mean, it feels like that Masudis' his only option to remove Vampire efficiently. I feel like wasting an execution on it would be not so ideal, especially with the threats left potentially in DA's deck. Um,
Right.
and I mean, you have the Ranger as well, but still, I feel like the
I'd be
Ranger is
shocked.
now set up as the prime contender to smack face.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he trades the vampire into this Masuda.
There's the Necromancer. Oh,
Now
okay.
not so much because we have the necromancer, but yeah, I mean, what's Allen gonna do? Mercenaries
Swordsman
execution a
cleave the
zombie?
Vampire.
Oh my gosh! Oh
No,
my gosh! This is problematic.
he's debating on what to execute. He has to remove
Eesh.
something, but that
Eesh.
it's not going to feel good regardless of what you pop here. The
Yeah,
5/2 feels way too weak. The Necromancer feels way too insignificant. There's so many things here that are, you have to get rid of, but they all feel so bad to do so.
yeah. I, man, if I'm mercenary execution anything, I'm taking out the acolyte.
Oh, Necromancer's
Uh,
going to be the choice here. Quite
we're gonna do,
interesting.
yeah, we're gonna do the necro. I hate dealing with the the acolyte, especially knowing that DA likes to run Raka. Um, I get it. You take out a global, uh, but just I hate dealing with the acolyte, and we really don't have an option to deal with it outside of a scope. Uh, I mean, we're gonna see a Northlands Ranger here trade into what I think would be one vampire. Maybe we could do two. Um, now we're not gonna have enough for multi-strike. We're gonna lose a blacksmith here.
Yeah, the bleed's finally going to cake in and eliminate that from the equation here. Feels a little sad, but it is what it is here. We just gotta push through here if we can. Even I have no idea if this is even a winnable match anymore here. It feels like now Da, even
We
though
need a
he's down in
swordsman.
card.
A swordsman will change this game.
Oh yeah, for
A
sure,
single swordsman will change this game.
for sure.
It it will prolong this game.
Although how much
Oh my
how much
god.
how much you want to bet Ranger is taking up the slot of what Swordsman could have been? How much you want to bet that? Because now,
Why
if
why
that's,
would why would he do that?
I don't
I
know.
mean, it's just it's. I mean, this is just a losing match. I mean, you take out the vampire, and then you just have just a multitude of zombies. I mean, you can. I mean, might as well just take out the blacksmith with a zombie. I mean, the blacksmiths die next turn.
Might as well have him go out in a blaze of glory, taking out at least something on the way out.
Right. Right.
Oh my god.
And then you take out a vampire with the Northland's Ranger,
Hmm.
and then I guess you don't. You just pray. I don't know what you can do with this type of swarm outside of a swordsman. But God, it's not looking good.
Yep, Vampire connecting to face again for another meaty 4 here. Won't be surprised if try to get more units in on this action. If he has a Raka, that's also. Oh no, we're at 9 gold. Never mind. I like to think we're at Raka just because we're pretty much at the end of the game anyway here. We're going to generate more zombies though off the Acolyte here. Zombie number 1 being pinged off of the Ranger here. What we see. Alright, probably going to see Acolyte number 2. Yep. Ping the last bit off of the Ranger there to generate zombie number 2. Moving that into face here. Popping in with the rat here. Yeah, Tweaking, we need a unit at this point here if we even want to stay alive, but it feels like we can't do that.
No, we can't kill anything. I mean, we kill the vampire, but then we leave everything else alive. Yeah, Elvish Thief. This is just GG.
Yeah, we can do the Thief Katana Scope just for moral victory to eliminate the vampire here, but there's just too much damage on the board as is.
Yeah.
Interesting though. Interesting that this was the deck to bring here for game number 3, because I would imagine OTK decks like this where they're using single big damage units here. I would think they tend to struggle against Swarm. Having all the units start to pile in here and all of them being too small and too squishy here. They die easily, but there's just a lot of them. I feel like that's something that just overwhelms decks that Allen is running here.
Yeah, and the draw is just, just not helping Allen. I'm surprised we haven't seen Allen play his Mystic Rat deck against the Swarm deck or, red yellow deck. Oh my god, even a Dragon's Fire just cuz.
I don't think we have enough points, right? To Yeah, no, we're off unless we had a global, but we played Dragon's Fire, so we can't really end it. Hence why we went for the Dragon's Fire to remove the Elvish Thief. But yeah, that is very unfortunate. Yep, taking some additional pings here, generating more zombies. That's cool and all, but we're missing that 2 points of damage here. So we're probably going to have to throw it back to Allen. I wouldn't be surprised if Allen just surrenders and moves on to the next game here. Captain, how you doing, my friend? Goodbye. We're going to see you in... I don't even know if we're going to see you in the next game, but yeah, it's going to be game. Allen, unfortunately, taking the loss to the Swarm stuff here.
That was brutal.
Absolutely. Not much I think we can say here. Let's go ahead and break that down for you, though, in the post match. All right, folks, coming out of game number 3, are we? And Twiggin, I don't know what it is right now with people in game 3 being on the losing end of the set and just deciding, hey, I'm gonna go with this random ass deck list, but I mean, we saw it with Vesa, and now we're seeing it again with Allen here, as what looks to be a Karu scope list making an appearance, and ultimately not being as successful as I think Allen would like to in game 3 here. It just felt like this was not the matchup to bring against the swarm focus that DA has.
Yeah, no, no. I feel like this was a terrible pick to go up against a Swarm deck. I mean, maybe he was trying to get some, OTK type shenanigans with a Scope Kuru, but I mean, I feel like this wasn't the answer when we know how deadly Allen of a player is when he plays Mystic Rats, and I feel like that deck combination is great against a Swarm deck because the more units that DA spawns, it's just better for you in the long run because all you need is one freezing pillar and you have them right where you want them, and there's no way DA can, stop that. And the longer he waits to get rid of that, freezing pillar, the harder, I mean, the more chain he ends up setting himself up to. So I'm shocked that DA decided to play the deck I mean, Allen decided to play the deck that he did. I don't know what he was thinking, especially having to work around constant spawns and constant globals. And not only that is when you do green yellow, I mean, no, green purple, it's just there's just a lack of draw in that color combination. And especially when you're going up against a warlock faction or a spam where you're constantly having to trade units, when you run out of units, you essentially also run out of your deck because a lot of that draw outside of onslaught you're having to place on a unit to even get that draw. And if you don't have any units on the board, it's essentially a dead card in your hand. So, and not only that, I'm sorry, I'm going on a little rant here
I
because I'm
know
I'm just so upset.
you are. That's
But
fine.
but he doesn't run swordsman in this deck, and that
That's an
makes me
ultimate swarm removal tool. It's like
right, right,
why not go bring that against what you know is going to be your swarm matchup?
right. You have yellow, you have Lumi, red, you have Dragon's Fire, uh, blue, you have Chain Lightning, and you go up with the two factions that are arguably the worst to deal with spam and rushes, and you don't even pick the one unit that can help you deal with the swarm. It's just like you're giving the match to DA. Not only that, you're just making it harder for you to deal with the swarm when you don't have to.
Right.
Uh, so hopefully he realizes that. Hopefully he sees his big mistake going into game 4 and saying, "Hey, I should have played swordsman. I'm going to play it. And you can do well with the swordsman. You can do lunging strikes. You can do multi strikes. You can even scope it for you for whatever reason you can scope it. But that is just a crucial key to this deck that was missing in game 3, and that you have to assume that he's going to play it if he plays with the same deck
I
come game
I
4.
don't want him to personally, knowing the type of
No,
matchup this has. So
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I hope he plays Mystic Rats. I don't know why we haven't seen that yet. I hope he plays it because that is just a straight counter to spam, and it is his bread and butter. We know how good he is. We know how good of a deck he has with that. And if he doesn't play with it, I'm slamming my head onto my keyboard, and I have to order a new one.
all right, well, I mean, we can arrive at the moment of truth right now, folks. Game number 4, will Allen switch it up, or will DA walk with the set here? Of course, he's got the match point coming up here. Will he take it? Only time will tell, folks. Match number 4 coming at you right now. All right, Tweaking, match number 4 now underway as Allen bringing in the same list. Surprisingly enough here, apparently thought that he might have had just a bad hand or something, but going with the same deck to run back in game number 4 here, I'm kind of nervous for him at this point. I don't think this deck really proved anything last game. I don't feel like it's gonna work effectively here in game 4.
Yeah, I'm shocked that he hasn't played his Mystic Rat deck. Like, actually shocked. I mean, we know how great Allen is playing that deck, and to roll back with green purple that we just saw him get absolutely demolished with, it's shocking to me. And we're gonna see Allen play aggressive with his Rat Hovel here potentially.
Looks like it. He's debating it. Not sure if that's the call. I mean, I think his concern is that it might just be bolted anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah, okay. And he changed his mind, plays in the back here. Might be facing a bolt turn 3 here, but then again, I think leaving Elvis Thief on face here would be problematic. Yep, okay, there's the fear for it. We are going to keep our bolt here, and ooh, Faithful Drake. That is perfect to trade with our blacksmith here.
yep.
If we take that,
Unless
we're
yeah,
debating
unless you want to
swords.
play Dancing Swords. We're gonna play nope. We're gonna play Dancing Swords here.
Oh, we're gonna play Dancing Swords here. We're just gonna avoid the blacksmith thief trade. Come on, really? You gonna tempt me like this, Tweakin?
Alan's real. I mean, Alan, it's turn 4. You can't have too many options here.
Not even. It's turn 3. He just had ramp. All right, there's the blacksmith. There's the connection here. Drake gonna fall to the beefed up Elvish thief here. Also putting up the rat for trade here, allowing Gay to take that. DA can set up an armory. It won't really matter in this case here. The rats will make an even trade regardless, which is fine for Alan here. If the rats can trade, that's good enough for him. It means they don't have to really exist too much on the board here. Followed with a Masuda for turn and a Kunoichi. Alright, Kunoichi looking to potentially go after this armory here.
Who had coin? Who had coin? Did Alan have coin?
Yeah, Alan's on the red side. He had coin.
Okay. Just making sure.
I
'Cause
think.
I was
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. Because
oh
he
man.
coined into the thief turn 1, hovel turn 2, right?
Okay, I was just making sure because I was like, man, we are putting a lot of Dragon's Fire value if DA has a coin here.
Yeah, no, it's not yet. That's why I think we've beefed up this board a little bit here. Kuno does get the option to hit face, it seems like. Necromancer, I imagine we're not going to put that in harm's way yet. Nope. So Kunoichi can hit this board now. We could play swords as well, which would survive past the Dragon's Fire, which would be nice. Yeah, we are going to follow that up. I was wondering if he was going to hold back and wait for the Ranger, but I mean, this works too. I think this is fine here. Oh, and there it is.
There's a Dragon's Fire.
What seems to have eluded DA for a lot of the earlier matches, man, it's just showing up here. It's showing up and doing its work.
If I'm DA and I'm seeing Alan run back purple green against a spam deck, I am just laughing at myself right now. Laughing with joy because I just know Alan has no answer for my spawns unless he does like some funky swordsman
Lunging Mordock, if that's in here.
Yeah, lunging Mordock or swordsman with multi-strike. Everything else, I'm like, okay. I mean, it takes out one of my units. Even a scope Kuru. I mean, I'm gonna be able to outspawn whatever Alan decides to play with, and even then, I have my Dragon's Fires.
Yeah, now that Alan lost that blacksmith, the rats are going to become a whole lot more brutal. Even though I mean we're still keeping our rat spawn, they're coming out and not really matching the power that DA's rats are. 1-1 to 2-2, simple math there. They don't do too well against together. So yeah,
Right,
quite the conundrum.
And I'm trading my rats with anything because I mean that's just free value at that point because I'm not even playing any of my other units that I have. Now we're gonna have to waste a lunge here and take out the vampire, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also probably gonna play maybe a rat hovel here. We're gonna go with the ranger instead.
Right. Going with the big boy ranger. You're gonna try and sink in some damage. Although I doubt that this boy is getting anywhere with the way that these rats are gonna just keep coming out and blocking. Yep. Okay, that top rat gonna go ahead and trade with the dancing swords here. Better to not waste the necromancer on that. So that seems fine here. All right, rat moving to block. We are in scope position. We are no longer in scope position. We are dead. We are dead.
Oh.
Oh
God.
goodness.
There's a shaman.
Shaman is fine, but not the saving grace card that it needs to be, unfortunately.
I don't know what we hope to draw here. I mean, I feel like this is just game over now. I mean, we have
We're sort of back in the game 3 position. Yeah.
Yeah, we're essentially on dead drawing right now. DA is spawning at least one unit and has multiple globals now. I mean, DA, I mean, he can do no wrong here. He can either rush with all of his units, he can protect his necromancer and just rush with his 7/8 vamp, and yeah, he's just gonna go for it all. I mean, he sees Alan has rat hobbles and
Blood in the
2
water.
cards.
He's smelling it.
Yeah, he knows Alan basically has no answer to take out all these units. At the very least, one of these units.
Yeah, we'll see what this next draw is for Alan here. Because I mean, I think he's got, I think at most maybe like a turn or two.
Yeah, I don't know what you expect here to draw. I mean, honestly, I mean, even a Mordock doesn't really do anything.
Nope.
Yeah, a Mordock. I mean, you what? You take out a rat.
You can
You take
take
out
out the
both rats.
rat and then hope that the bodies are going to be big here. Oh, that's a big body.
It is. It is.
We can push back the vampire for a turn, or connect and kill off this necromancer to slightly weaken said
We
vampire, which I think is going to be the plan here. I want to trade the rat for. Yeah, okay, good. Make sure we trade the rat
there we
first.
go. And then we can have funny, Orban scope katana, but I
No,
don't
we're
see it
not. We're not getting away.
backfire.
We're not walking away with this Mordock here. I think Da is primed here. We are in Mordock range. Vampire could connect the face, and Raka could come out for all we know. Uh, will it come out? We do have scope katana. That is something that's neat here. Okay, no, we're not. We're not keeping Mordock. You get another wraith though.
Oh,
Hello.
okay. We
That's
are banshees.
true.
Now we get a Mordock,
Oh,
and we're gonna have to Dwarven Scope Shadow Katana the Mordock. Hopefully we draw
yeah.
like an Elvish Thief. Okay, no, we can deal with it now. We can Mercenary Execution, take the
Yep.
Mordock out, kill the Vamp. Oh my God, if he would have killed the Vamp there, I would have screamed. I would have screamed. I would have just logged out. And we really about to do this?
Katana against the vampire for a rat. Looks like we are. Okay. Well,
Okay, okay.
vampire. I mean, it keeps Wraith healthy, which is good.
It, I would have used the Shadow Katana on the Wraith, so that way I can try to hit Castle. Because I mean that's I am
What else is Alan
assuming
gonna
that's
do to win
the
here?
yeah, that's what I'm assuming that was for the Shadow Katana. Um, because now we are just praying that we can survive to sudden death, and then that's asking a lot.
Right.
That is asking a lot. I mean, I'm assuming we'll get to sudden death with the Wraith being at full health and having 2 rat hovels down. I think we'll be able to, stunt DA's pushes just enough to at least see 1, potentially 2 sudden death draws. Uh, but it's gonna be
Oh, hello.
oh god.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Goodbye. Second.
never mind.
God, everyone now just throwing out the executions, huh? We saw one against the Mordock, one against the Ranger, one against the Wraith. We've got them all.
And there's the swiftness card I was talking about. We're gonna put that on the rat to take out one of the rats. Oh, look at that, another useless card. Shadow Katana. I mean, at this point, go ahead and put the dwarven scope on the rat. Go ahead. I mean, I mean, if we see the Acolyte push up, I can only assume a is coming.
Right. That feels like. Oh, yep. Are we gonna see it?
Oh, that's step 1.
Step
Where's
two
step
is
2?
there's
Step
step two.
2
Step three.
and step 3.
No, it's gonna be Mordock,
It's a different undead, but still does
a
the
different
same
undead
thing.
powerhouse.
Yeah. Oh god, I can't wait to see what we decide to scope and Shadow Katana this turn. What lucky units to trade with the Mordock here?
Probably another rat.
Could potentially be a rat. It
Even
could
though it
very
won't
well
actually
be a
kill the
rat.
Mordock.
What's better? No, 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 no. What spell card are we about to draw? A lunging strike?
Uh,
I feel like we're gonna draw a lunging strike here. Just another useless spell card in this deck. All right, DA, and your turn.
I'm
What's
wondering what
happening
what
here?
we're considering here on DA side. Yeah, there's the time. Oh, the altar. Excuse me.
Oh my God! As if you don't have a strong hold on this game already. You had to waste 30 seconds to put a Mordock. Okay, I mean, yay.
It can
I
use the
mean,
katana to trade with the other Mordok, except we're not going to go the route. We're going to go the Wraith
oh,
katana instead to make everything vulnerable to Rakanoth. Oh, 510 Wraith.
oh,
Hi, how you
okay,
doing?
okay. The game's like, okay, I gave Alan enough rats and enough wraiths. I'm gonna show Da some love. I'm gonna give him a wraith of his own.
As if he didn't already have like this tight hold of the game already.
Yeah. This is problematic. This is like all hands on deck.
I think
I
all
mean,
all hands have left the deck, bro. There's no cards in hand. There's barely anything on the board.
yeah,
Oh.
we hit with the Mordok. You run in with the Wraith. You hit the face with the Wraith. You move with the rat. Or okay, I mean,
We might just
yeah,
rack it
you
here.
can do all. Yeah,
Raz Zombie
you can
can
do.
move up and Raka if we had it. Oh nope, going for the building. Yep, that's that, folks. That doesn't really highlight the kind of player that Da is, man. If he doesn't have lethal, he will take out everything else to ensure that he'll have lethal the next turn. Oh boy, Smith.
And if
Oh,
that doesn't tell
Smith
you what
making the
and if that
trade.
doesn't tell you the type of player Da is, he just let the record show that he took 40 seconds on sudden death with 4 gold to decide where he wanted to play his
His
holy
altar.
altar in a game that essentially is, too good to lose. Uh,
Yeah, I
maybe
mean
maybe Alan just hacks the game and gets a gets a Dragon's Fire. Oh,
Hey,
where
you
was
know
he?
what?
Where
That
was he?
ranger could have been swordsman.
I don't think Alan runs swordsman in this. Does he run
No, I
swordsman?
don't think he
He doesn't.
does. I don't. Well,
Okay, your one option to like your one unit that is your saving grace for like clear, and you don't.
no, yeah,
I,
there it
I'm
is.
I'm just shocked. Okay, I can't say that I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it happened. We kind of figured that this was going to be the outcome from the moment the game started, just by the way that Game 3 ended. And it seems like we were right here. Unfortunately, Alan couldn't really get it done. He looked better in the opening, but unfortunately, man, Dragon's Fire is just a hell of a card. And against a deck like this, where everything is just kind of under that 3 health thresh line, Dragon's Fire pop and oh, board go bye bye. It hurts. It really does. But I mean, there's only one way to look at this here. I mean, we gotta take a look here. Let's go ahead and take a look, folks, at the post match here. Match number 4. Let's go ahead and break that down. Well, Tweakin, how's that keyboard doing?
Oh, it's broken. Oh, it's broken.
What we really wanted Alan to not do in Game 4, he just said, "Hey, we'll do it. We'll do it in Game 4," and look where it got us. Not in a good place. Um, I'm really surprised that it felt like we made virtually no changes between the last match and this match going into a game that we desperately needed to win here. Not even replacing the Rangers with swordsmen like we hinted at earlier, just so that way you have a better swarm matchup. We saw in that matchup there were opportunities that swordsmen could have made a real big impact, but we saw the Ranger instead. It's just frustrating. It kind of is, but it's his choice. It's his choice, and ultimately, I mean, he's got to pay with the consequences now. Tweaking. It's just that kind of matchup.
Yeah, I said all I wanted to say in Game 3, and if I say anything else in Game 4, I'm just gonna
Have an
repeat myself.
aneurysm. She's gonna
Yeah,
fall over. She's gonna foam with the
yeah,
mouth. Ugh.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll save you the pain here, Tweak, and I think it's pretty obvious here. If Alan decided to repeat here and make no changes, we really don't have to make the same points over and over again. We don't want to insult your intelligence, after all, you, the viewers. So, yeah, not the best matchup here for Alan, but that means DA will move on, and we now have our finals set up in place here, Tweakin. You want to go take a look at that instead? You wanna ease the pain a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, folks,
Please.
let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here and show how this match brings us to our finals. All right, Tweakin, after what feels like a long and arduous season, we have finally arrived at our finals. The matchup is set. Death's Advocate versus oooje, our number 2 versus number 1. It's going to be an incredible matchup, but how are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup. I mean, we're finally get to see number 1 face number 2, and it's for the Cards and Castles champion. It's to crown our champion. It's been a long season, and no upsets, no 1 versus 3, no 1 versus 7. We get to see number 1 versus number 2, and I'm sure everyone's been excited to see this, and it's going to be a great matchup. And
Certainly.
both of the decks, I love it. I personally, and I feel like it's going to come up to who has the better counter pick.
Right.
Because
Hold on, tweak it. Hold
oh,
on.
all right.
The idea is that we don't want to spoil too much now, do we? We know we have another
No,
video after all to get to. So
that is true.
I
That is
I
true.
think what
I'll
we'll
hold it. I'll save it.
exactly. I think what's going to be best here, folks, is that we hold off on that information here. We're going to elaborate more when it comes time for the actual gameplay. That'll be in the next video with Casting Conflicts here, and that will be our finals here to crown our Season 2 champion. Maybe we'll even get a word in with the winner here, but we'll have to see. In the meantime, folks, we did hope you enjoy this episode here. I hope that you do continue to support the show here. Only one more episode remaining until Season 2 is finished. And hopefully, with your support, we can make it go out with a bang. But with that being said, again, hope you guys did enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time. Take care.